ずんだもんと学ぶ英会話。英語耳を鍛えるリスニング IELTS リスニング5.5レベルの頻出英語フレーズ150選。動画をご視聴いただきありがとうございます。今回は IELTS のリスニング5.5レベルの英語フレーズを勉強するのだ。
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone.
皆さん、おはようございます。
Hello, how can I help you? Hello, how can I help you?
こんにちは、どうされましたか？
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
お会いできて嬉しいです。
Could you please repeat that? Could you please repeat that?
もう一度言っていただけますか？
What can I do for you? What can I do for you?
何かお手伝いしましょうか？
Let me introduce myself. Let me introduce myself.
自己紹介させてください。
I'd like to ask about. I'd like to ask about.
についてお聞きしたいのですが。
Could you tell me more about? Could you tell me more about?
についてもっと詳しく教えていただけますか？
I'm calling to ask about. I'm calling to ask about.
についてお尋ねしたくてお電話しています。
What seems to be the problem? What seems to be the problem?
どんな問題がありますか？
Do you have a minute to talk? Do you have a minute to talk?
少しお話しする時間はありますか？
How's everything going? How's everything going?
調子はどうですか？
I hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing well.
元気でいることを願っています。
Thanks for your time. Thanks for your time.
お時間をいただきありがとうございます。
Let's get started, shall we? Let's get started, shall we?
では、始めましょうか。
I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to.
お楽しみにしています。
Could you speak up a little, please? Could you speak up a little, please?
もう少し大きな声で話していただけますか？
It's great to meet you. It's great to meet you.
お会いできて嬉しいです。
I didn't quite catch that. I didn't quite catch that.
ちょっとよく聞き取れませんでした。
Let me clarify that for you. Let me clarify that for you.
それを確認させてください。
Would you mind repeating that? Would you mind repeating that?
繰り返していただけますか？
Can you hear me clearly? Can you hear me clearly?
はっきり聞こえますか？
Please feel free to ask questions. Please feel free to ask questions.
ご自由に質問してください。
Let's go over the main points. Let's go over the main points.
主なポイントを確認しましょう。
That's a good question. That's a good question.
それは良い質問ですね。
Let's take a quick break. Let's take a quick break.
ちょっと休憩しましょう。
Is there anything else you'd like to add? Is there anything else you'd like to add?
他に付け加えることはありますか？
Shall we move on to the next topic? Shall we move on to the next topic?
次の話題に進みましょうか？
Thanks for your patience. Thanks for your patience.
ご理解いただきありがとうございます。
Let's wrap things up. Let's wrap things up.
これで終わりにしましょう。
What time does the meeting start? What time does the meeting start?
会議は何時に始まりますか？
It's scheduled for 3 p.m. It's scheduled for 3 p.m.
午後3時に予定されています。
I'll be there in about 10 minutes. I'll be there in about 10 minutes.
10分ほどで到着します。
The appointment is at 2 o'clock. The appointment is at 2 o'clock.
予約は2時です。
I'm running late. I'm running late.
遅れています。
I'll get back to you as soon as possible. I'll get back to you as soon as possible.
できるだけ早くご連絡します。
I'm afraid I can't make it on time. I'm afraid I can't make it on time.
残念ながら時間通りに行けそうにありません。
Can we reschedule the meeting? Can we reschedule the meeting?
会議をリスケジュールできますか？
Let's confirm the time and date. Let's confirm the time and date.
日時を確認しましょう。
I'll check my calendar and get back to you. I'll check my calendar and get back to you.
カレンダーを確認して後で連絡します。
We're running out of time. We're running out of time.
時間がなくなってきています。
The deadline is fast approaching. The deadline is fast approaching.
締め切りが迫っています。
Let's meet at the usual time. Let's meet at the usual time.
いつもの時間に会いましょう。
I'll be free after 5 p.m. I'll be free after 5 p.m.
午後5時以降は自由です。
Can we move the meeting to a later time? Can we move the meeting to a later time?
会議を後にずらすことはできますか？
I'll give you an update tomorrow. I'll give you an update tomorrow.
明日、最新情報をお伝えします。
Let's plan to meet at the end of the week. Let's plan to meet at the end of the week.
週末に会う予定を立てましょう。
We'll have to postpone it until next week. We'll have to postpone it until next week.
来週まで延期しなければなりません。
What's the time frame for this project? What's the time frame for this project?
このプロジェクトの期間はどれくらいですか？
I'll follow up with you next Monday. I'll follow up with you next Monday.
来週月曜日にフォローアップします。
Where is the nearest bus stop? Where is the nearest bus stop?
最寄りのバス停はどこですか？
It's just around the corner. It's just around the corner.
すぐ近くです。
Go straight and turn left at the traffic lights. Go straight and turn left at the traffic lights.
まっすぐ行って、信号で左に曲がってください。
Can you give me directions? Can you give me directions?
道案内をしていただけますか？
It's about a 10-minute walk from here. It's about a 10-minute walk from here.
ここから歩いて約10分です。
The office is located on the second floor. The office is located on the second floor.
オフィスは2階にあります。
You'll see the building on your right. You'll see the building on your right.
右手に建物が見えます。
How far is it to the train station? How far is it to the train station?
駅までどれくらいですか？
I'm not familiar with this area. I'm not familiar with this area.
この地域には詳しくありません。
Can you point me in the right direction? Can you point me in the right direction?
方向を教えていただけますか？
Could you do me a favor? Could you do me a favor?
ちょっとお願いがあるのですが。
Would you mind helping me with this? Would you mind helping me with this?
これを手伝っていただけますか？
Could you pass me the salt, please? Could you pass me the salt, please?
塩を取っていただけますか？
I was wondering if you could help me. I was wondering if you could help me.
助けていただけると嬉しいのですが。
Let's have a look at this together. Let's have a look at this together.
一緒にこれを見てみましょう。
Shall we go for a walk? Shall we go for a walk?
散歩に行きませんか？
How about we meet at the coffee shop? How about we meet at the coffee shop?
カフェで会うのはどうですか？
Let's take a break. Let's take a break.
休憩しましょ
Why don't we try a different approach? Why don't we try a different approach?
別のアプローチを試してみませんか？
Could you make sure this is done by tomorrow? Could you make sure this is done by tomorrow?
明日までにこれを終えていただけますか？
Would you like to join us for dinner? Would you like to join us for dinner?
一緒に夕食をどうですか？
Let me know if you need any help. Let me know if you need any help.
手助けが必要なら教えてください。
I'd appreciate it if you could send me the detail. I'd appreciate it if you could send me the detail.
詳細を送っていただけるとありがたいです。
Shall we start now? Shall we start now?
今始めましょうか？
How can I assist you? How can I assist you?
どのようにお手伝いできますか？
Would it be possible to change the time? Would it be possible to change the time?
時間を変更することは可能ですか？
Do you have any suggestions? Do you have any suggestions?
何か提案はありますか？
Could you tell me how this works? Could you tell me how this works?
これがどう機能するのか教えていただけますか？
Can we discuss this later? Can we discuss this later?
これについて後で話し合えますか？
Would you like some help with that? Would you like some help with that?
それについて手伝いましょうか？
Let's arrange a meeting. Let's arrange a meeting.
会議を設定しましょう。
Could you explain that to me? Could you explain that to me?
それを説明していただけますか？
What do you think about this idea? What do you think about this idea?
このアイデアについてどう思いますか？
Can I offer you some advice? Can I offer you some advice?
アドバイスしてもよろしいですか？
Would it be all right if I called you later? Would it be all right if I called you later?
後で電話してもよろしいですか？
Let's figure this out together. Let's figure this out together.
一緒にこれを解決しましょう。
Shall I open the window? Shall I open the window?
窓を開けましょうか？
Why don't you try this method? Why don't you try this method?
この方法を試してみませんか？
Can I get back to you on that? Can I get back to you on that?
それについては後で返答してもよろしいですか？
Would you be able to send me the report? Would you be able to send me the report?
レポートを送っていただけますか？
The purpose of this report is to. The purpose of this report is to.
このレポートの目的は、です。
In conclusion. In conclusion.
結論として、
To sum up. To sum up.
要約すると、
It's important to note that. It's important to note that.
ということを覚えておくことが重要です。
On the other hand. On the other hand.
一方では、
Another important factor is. Another important factor is.
もう一つの重要な要素は、です。
This leads to the conclusion that. This leads to the conclusion that.
これからという結論が導かれます。
We can therefore assume that. We can therefore assume that.
したがって、と推測できます。
This suggests that. This suggests that.
これは、押し指しています。
There are several reasons for this. There are several reasons for this.
これにはいくつかの理由があります。
First of all. First of all.
まず第一に、
Furthermore. Furthermore.
さらに、
In addition. In addition.
さらに、
For instance. For instance.
例えば、
A key point to remember is. A key point to remember is.
覚えておくべき重要な点は、です。
It is widely believed that. It is widely believed that.
は広く信じられています。
In comparison with. In comparison with.
と比較すると、
It can be argued that. It can be argued that.
と主張することができます。
One possible explanation is. One possible explanation is.
一つの説明としては、です。
As a result. As a result.
その結果
Due to. Due to.
のため、
Therefore. Therefore.
従って、
It is essential to. It is essential to.
は不可欠です。
The main advantage is. The main advantage is.
主な利点は、です。
Conversely. Conversely.
逆に、
On the contrary. On the contrary.
それとは逆に、
This implies that. This implies that.
これは、を意味します。
To put it simply. To put it simply.
簡単に言えば、
In light of. In light of.
を考慮して、
Taking everything into account. Taking everything into account.
すべてを考慮すると、
I would recommend. I would recommend.
おすすめします。
It seems evident that. It seems evident that.
は明らかに思えます。
This is particularly important because. This is particularly important because.
これは特に重要です。なぜなら、
Considering the evidence. Considering the evidence.
証拠を考慮すると、
This brings us to the conclusion that. This brings us to the conclusion that.
これにより、という結論に至ります。
It is clear from the data that. It is clear from the data that.
データからが明らかです。
A further point to consider is. A further point to consider is.
さらに考慮すべき点は、です。
It is widely recognized that. It is widely recognized that.
は広く認識されています。
One of the most significant factors is. One of the most significant factors is.
最も重要な要因の一つは、です。
In contrast. In contrast.
対照的に、
The data suggests that. The data suggests that.
データは推し指しています。
It can be concluded that. It can be concluded that.
と結論付けられます。
The evidence points to. The evidence points to.
証拠はお指し示しています。
In summary. In summary.
要するに、
Another point worth mentioning is. Another point worth mentioning is.
もう一つ言及する価値のある点は、です。
To a certain extent. To a certain extent.
ある程度、
This highlights the importance of. This highlights the importance of.
これはの重要性を強調しています。
It is worth noting that. It is worth noting that.
は注目に値します。
The findings suggest that. The findings suggest that.
調査結果は推し指しています。
There is no doubt that. There is no doubt that.
は間違いありません。
This can be explained by. This can be explained by.
これはで説明できます。
It is apparent that. It is apparent that.
は明らかです。
This raises the question of. This raises the question of.
これにより、という疑問が生じます。
It should be noted that. It should be noted that.
に注意すべきです。
In view of the fact that. In view of the fact that.
という事実を考慮すると、
It is important to consider. It is important to consider.
を考慮することが重要です。
Based on the information. Based on the information.
情報に基づいて。
There is a strong argument for. There is a strong argument for.
には強い根拠があります。
It is generally accepted that. It is generally accepted that.
は一般的に受け入れられています。
Overall, it can be said that. Overall, it can be said that.
全体的に言えばと言えます。以上で今回の勉強は終わりなのだ。また次回の動画でお会いしましょう。動画を最後までご視聴いただきありがとうございます。チャンネル登録してくれたら嬉しいのだ。